Good afternoon to the citizens of St. Bernard Parish. Today is Wednesday, April 29th. Another day has gone by in this COVID-19 saga. As we do every day, we want to say a prayer for those who have lost their lives and a prayer for the families who lost loved ones. Today we had one additional death that was reported on the state website. So we want to keep all of those in our minds. Today, I want you to also, in our personal prayer, pray for patience. Because right now, more than ever, we need patience. While we're dealing with our governor, we're dealing with our president, and we're all trying to come up with a solution. All together, we have to get this together. So we have to have patience with each other. From each parish, each region, we have to have patience. We have to discuss things out and make sure that we're acting in the best interests of our citizens. I have to have patience. I want to open up our economy. I want everybody to go back to work like it was 2 months ago, right? So I have to be patient. And our citizens have to be patient because we're asking you to do things that you've never done in your life. We have people on one end that's scared to death, and we're trying to encourage them. We have on the other end, we're not scared, and we're all ready to go. So we need to be patient with each other, and we need to make sure that we know that the day is coming, the end of this COVID-19, sooner rather than later, because we're all going to be on the same path. So with that said, we're going to do our personal prayer. Thank you. So we'll give our hospital update first today, and the state numbers and the data. We'll give that update today too. We're at 461 positive cases. Still, daily cases are very, very low here in St. Bernard Parish. They're at the bottom of the floor if you're following the day-to-day new cases here in St. Bernard Parish. We have 19 deaths. Yesterday we had 18, and we're always thoughtful and prayerful when we say that. Our hospital is continuing to do great. We're at 22 patients, 10 COVID patients, and 1 on a ventilator that is not a COVID patient. So we have plenty of room in our hospital. We're not going to spike it again because we're all going to be doing the right thing. Even when we get into this extension with some new requirements to kind of open up things a little bit, especially restaurants. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But I want to thank, we had a storm last night. If you were like me, you was up a little bit around 9:30 at 10 o'clock. It came through. It also had a storm come through this morning. And I want to thank Entergy for their work and working with parish government employees. We had a bunch of trees down, some lines down, Entergy lines down throughout our parish. Those guys are always on the scene, working on your behalf, and I want to thank Entergy and the employees at St. Bernard Parish Government for being out there in those conditions and making it happen for you. And we couldn't do that without the sheriff's deputies. Sheriff Pullman's men and women of the Sheriff's Department overnight, like they always do, has done a great job in protecting you, protecting our employees while they're on the scene, and protecting Entergy when they show up for the scene. So, we all work together. We get those things done, and now the storm has passed, and it's like nothing happened. So we really want to send out appreciation to all of those. I also want to thank the citizens of St. Bernard Parish. We're paying our water bill. We have more payments online than we ever had before. So thank you so much for your attention to our water bills, how you're paying it, and you're making your monthly payments. And I just want to let you know that we appreciate that during this COVID-19 saga, like I say every day. So we also have a code enforcement out and about with all of these new guidelines for businesses. And Jeff McLean with the Code Enforcement Department has been doing great things. We have to teach him how to put a mask on. He did an interview the other day and got a lot a lot of funnies thrown at his way, but he's working hard. I could tell you, he is working hard, and I could tell you also, it's hard to do an interview when you can't breathe and you're trying to talk. So shout out to Jeff McClain, you're doing a great job. Don't worry about all that other stuff. I do want to say, we had a parish president phone call today with around 22 parish presidents around the state of Louisiana, talking about the different things that we're doing under the governor's executive order. We're all in agreement, for the most part, that while we may disagree on how we do this as a region or as a parish or as a state, we agree on one thing, is that we're all going to work toward that same direction with the guidance from the federal government, with the guidance from our governor. But we do have some different things in our different areas that we can tweak with this executive order. So it was a great conversation. It's good to know what's going on around our state. And we let them know what's going on here in St. Bernard Parish, because we are successful. We are part of a region, Jefferson, Orleans, St. Bernard, and Plaquemines, that is successful, and we are actually helping other communities get in line with their numbers and their data, and doing the things that we did over the last couple of months to be in a situation where we can move forward in our communities. I do want to talk about today, we talked about restaurants, and we talked about using space outside of their restaurants. Now people can pick up their food, they can walk outside and sit at a table and eat their food, and restaurants can serve alcohol, right? So there are a few things, some guidance that came down today from the Office of the State Fire Marshal. So this will also be on our website. And when you get on to St. Bernard Parish, sbpg.net, our official website, on the top you see a red dot. It's COVID-19 updates. So you can press on that, and this Office of State Fire Marshal guidelines for our restaurants will be there, right? So I wanted to make sure I read that today. It should also be in the release. If you're watching this on Facebook, you should see the release from parish government. This also should be attached to that. So this is in accordance with Governor John Bel Edwards' COVID-19 proclamation to be released on May 1st. And some of the controls and guidance from the State Fire Marshal on how you operate your business under that executive order. Existing approved outdoor seating areas, to include balcony and rooftop, must maintain operating features per approved occupancy. NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. The following modifications are required. Reduce outdoor capacity to 25% of that allowed by the State Fire Marshal. Space tables a minimum of 10 feet from each other. That's from edge or corner to corner. Limit table groups to 10 individuals. Eliminate gatherings in the building when entering or exiting outdoor seating area. And that goes without saying. Open areas and temporary tents utilized by existing approved restaurants subject to local or parish rules and ordinances must meet NFPA 101 Life Safety Code, and 2/3 of the sides must be open. The tent must not be an enclosed tent. The following conditions are required. 2 remotely located exits if barriers exist. Capacity will be based on 110 square feet per person of the gross area. That is your 25%. So the way they determine the 25% allowed by State Fire Marshal, that 25% is 110 square feet per person. Space tables a minimum of 10 feet from each other. Limit table groups to 10 individuals. State-approved fire extinguisher within 75 feet of tent area, which all restaurants should have. and a minimum of 7-foot 6-inch headroom. Employees have to wear protective equipment. They should wear gloves for preparing and serving food and should change gloves between customers. High-touch surfaces to disinfect include doorknobs, light switches, countertops, handles, desks, phones, keyboards, toilets, faucets, and sinks. Tables, chairs, and seats should be cleaned after every customer. There were some questions about that. With no table service, can employees go outside and clean the tables, right? Or the parking lot or the patio, wherever you're at. And actually, you are required to, right? You are required to, after each customer sits at a table, or customers at a table, you are required to go disinfect the table and chairs in that area. All right, so we have some frequently asked questions that are answered in this. This is on the website. Can I operate in a city or parish that prohibits me to open? That answer to that question is obviously no. If guests order bottled alcohol at counter service, can it be opened for them? No. So you have to serve someone their beer. You cannot open it for them. You got to hand it to them and they got to open it themselves. And here's the next question. Can I provide a cocktail as part of my alcohol license on premises? Yes. So, obviously you're not opening that. It's already going to be open, right? It's going to be in a cup or a glass. Does a counter order include pickup for a phone order and the direct ordering of food at the counter? Yes. Are masks required for all restaurant employees? We talked about that already. Yes, they are. And especially if you have contact with the public. Are guests required to wear a mask? No. However, the public is strongly encouraged to wear face coverings when in public. What are the responsibilities of providing social distancing on the patio when there is no table staff? The owner-operator will still manage property as normal and ensure seating layouts and procedures are followed or otherwise cease service. So, and that's a big question. We're going to ask the owners of our restaurants to make sure that you regulate your customers and make sure they're doing the right thing. Make sure that they're being responsible. This is something that leaders all over the state are grappling with today. So I wanted to read that to you from there. Some of it is common sense. Some of it is mentioned twice in here, and I wanted to make sure that I read that to all of our owners. And remember, if you have an outdoor seating area, and let's say the State Fire Marshal comes, and they're going to make sure that whatever that seating area is, number one, your tables, if you have tables, are 10 feet apart. From any point of the table to any point of the next table, 10 feet apart. And the total number of people that they're going to allow you to have in that area is one person per 110 square feet. So we're asking you to be responsible. We're asking you to regulate that. It's going to be so difficult. We don't have the resources to go out and measure all of that stuff. Be responsible. Make sure that in this opening that we have now, that we don't do anything that will create an onset of another peak in St. Bernard Parish, because that can happen. So we know that I've been talking to so many businesses that are ready to get open, working with some that are opening, some that have to wait to May 16th if the numbers and the data around the state cooperate. So just please be responsible. Know that your sheriff's department and your parish employees have a whole lot of better things and more important things to handle on your behalf than to go out there and make sure that we don't have too many people in an outside area eating and enjoying themselves. We want everybody to enjoy themselves. We want our economy to open up 100%, and we want to do it today. But that's not going to happen right now, and that's why we're being as patient as we can with the governor, with our president, and we're going to do the right thing, and we're going to be responsible. So with that said, please enjoy this loosening of the restrictions with the restaurants. I'm looking to enjoy that a little bit myself. So God bless each and every one of you, and thank you.